So, you made it to the second one. You didn't just give up at the first one of these. You actually started watching the second one I made. Wow. Well, if you clicked on the second video, thank you for doing that. I have a lot of comments about what happened in the first video. So, to start off with, the Textractor window, when I replayed the videos full screen with my 1080p monitor after I recorded them at the constant bitrate I recorded them, the Textractor information was pretty legible. However, after I uploaded it to YouTube and then played it in YouTube, and then even if I full screened the video and I had sufficient download speed to play the video from YouTube at a pretty high bitrate, I couldn't read it. So maybe the YouTube compression compresses the video in such a way that it doesn't, it's not, the compression algorithm isn't that good and doesn't recognize necessary detail to be preserved in that text. So yeah, if you couldn't read anything that was in the Textractor piece of the video in the upper right corner in part one, yeah, I understand. I don't really know what to do to fix it though, because I don't want to make it bigger because it covers up more of the game. And I don't know how to make the font bigger. There's probably a way to do that. So I'm just going to try to speak up and make sure I read everything that's on there that's worth reading and not leave anything out, and try to rely on the audience being able to read the Textractor window, because that's not good. That is definitely not guaranteed, or is likely not to be done. Likely not to be possible. However, I'll still include it in the videos for now. If it gets so bad that it just can't work because of YouTube's compression, then I might just remove it entirely. So the second thing, sometimes I have problems with the translation and the accuracy of the translation coming from Google Translate. And it would be really nice if I went through each video I record and edit the YouTube subtitles such that the YouTube subtitles show the most accurate translation I can come up with of the Korean dialogue. So with the first part, after I uploaded it, I switched it to unlisted, because for some reason when it's private it doesn't auto-generate the subtitles. I don't know why. Then it auto-generated the subtitles, and then I went in and I started editing them. And I was about 11 minutes into the video editing them, and I haven't even gotten to the part where I was reading things in Korean yet. Well, I was reading things on the title screen. I wasn't reading the actual, in-game dialogue and thoughts written in Korean, and bothered translating them yet. I was just editing the YouTube subtitles, writing out what I was saying at the beginning of the video. And it was such a soul-crushing job with only 11 minutes worth of the video in that I just basically gave up. Now, I still think this would be a really good idea to do. It would be really nice to have a good translation of the Korean text in the subtitles. So there is some possibility I'll go back and try to finish that, but it might be done as perhaps an Andrew Huberman anti-procrastination technique, where actually what I want to do is something I don't want to do and I'm procrastinating on, that's not quite as bad as doing subtitles for Danganronpa Blowback, but I do subtitles for Danganronpa Blowback because it's a much worse task, which would make it such that doing the task I actually do need to do doesn't seem as bad in comparison. What I'm saying is, there isn't very much. It's such a horrible job to do that there isn't a whole lot of chance that that'll get it done. With that being said, that kind of leaves it with the confusion I have and the bad translations that I either say in my speech or done by Google Translate. But you likely wouldn't even be able to see the Google Translate translations anyway, because you can't see the text in the text extractor window. The video is in too low resolution or is too compressed. And so it's a pretty bad situation. So not really that happy, but it is what it is. Now also in that video, there were a lot of really awkward pauses that occurred, particularly when I was making my rounds and having my introductory conversation with each of the characters. And just to clarify what those were me writing stuff down. So I was writing down the character names and stuff I noticed about them. So yeah, that's why there was all those awkward pauses. It's important to write stuff down in mystery games because ordinarily you probably would do that if you were playing it just by yourself and not recording it for Let's Play. But even if you were recording it for Let's Play, you want to be competent in your, digestion of the mystery. So there's going to be some of that, but because I don't have character introductions anymore, it probably won't be as bad going forward. So I guess what I want to say next is, there is an awful lot of Danganronpa fan games out there. Just an awful lot. And the ones I would want to play, of course, wouldn't be the ones that are incomplete and the creator is still working on them. I don't really want to get into another Your Turn to Die situation where I'm sitting here waiting for the creator to finish it. So I like to play the ones that are that won't have more added to them to wait for. So that could be either because the game is finished or because the game has been permanently abandoned. It would be nice to be able to put together an exhaustive list of the completed or permanently abandoned Danganronpa fan game projects. So I might work on that, and that might be another standalone video similar to the survey of the availability of the Infinity series video. There's just an awful lot on itch.io and Game Pulse, and I'd have to sift through them and figure out which ones have been abandoned and which ones are finished. Somebody did start a wiki called the Danganronpa Wiki. However, the Danganronpa Wiki is out of date. It contains some of the more infamous or more important Danganronpa fan games that are older, but there is so much more out there that is on the Danganronpa Wiki, unfortunately. Yeah. So, as far as the completed ones that I know of, there is Danganronpa 0, which technically has been completed. However, the creator retracted it off of itch.io because I guess they're disavow is too strong a word. They're doing like what Leo Tolstoy thought about his earlier works. They denounced it. There we go. And don't want it to be available for other people to play it because they're embarrassed of it. And there's reasons why this is, and there's a bunch of gossip and nonsense, which I don't want to bring up here. But in order to play that one, I'd have to dig it up out of somewhere. And I might be the creator of it, if they were to find out, maybe wouldn't be happy with me for digging up this stuff from their life they don't want to have seen, for airing their dirty laundry, so to speak. However, there's nothing really that they could do about it. Then there's the Lean Juice games written in Korean, which is what this Let's Play is prep work for. Those are supposed to be really good, and those are the ones I want to do the most. There's Danganronpa Laps, which I have downloaded on my computer and I'm going to play at some point, which is written in English. That one's pretty simple. Those are the only ones I know of that are finished, and I would try to play each of those with the exception of Danganronpa 0. The ones that I know of that have been abandoned, so we know for almost absolute certainty that they won't be finished, are this one, Danganronpa Blowback, Danganronpa V4, and those are the only two I know of. And of course, there are a bajillion in progress ones. The most notorious or most famous being Project Eden Garden. But I want to hold off on Project Eden Garden until it's finished, or it gets permanently abandoned and is guaranteed not to be finished. But there are way, way, way more of them besides just Project Eden Garden. If you go through Game Pulse or itch.io, or there might be even others, maybe other sites I don't know of, where you can self-publish your games. Anyway, so what I want to do next is read through the character names and ultimate talents from that, well, the characters we got introduced to in the first part, because I didn't really do a very good job of reading off what the ultimate talents were, or the characters' names for that matter. So, go through the list in the order in which I did the introductory conversations, which would have been from left to right, first batch, second batch, third batch, 5 characters per batch. So the first character we encountered was Kanjiro Hayamoto. So I'm using a Western or Indo-European sort of tradition with the family name and the given name, where I'm saying the given name first and the family name second. So in Japanese, you would write this as Hayamoto Kanjiro. And I am saying Japanese, not Korean, because I believe these look like the author of this game was trying to write down Japanese names, not Korean names, for these characters. These names sound Japanese. And he was doing a transliteration of these Japanese names into Hangul. So he was trying to use Hangul to write out how you would pronounce these Japanese names. Maybe more on that a little bit later. But anyway, his given name is Kanjiro, and his family name is Hayamoto. And he was a super high school level archer. Now, with each of these characters, and just for reference, he's like the green haired guy with like the plants on his shirt with a deep V, and he was kind of the bigger, most muscular character. And this doesn't have a really, really muscular character like Danganronpa proper has sometimes, but he was the most muscular of the bunch you were introduced to. And he's the guy who asked you if you've ever, like, about aliens or something, right? So with these, it's kind of fun, even though I don't have any clues yet, to guess, who is going to die, how, when. So Danganronpa characters, you can categorize them into 3 fundamental categories. Survivors, Blackens, and victims. You do get some weird exceptions, and this will have massive and unrestricted spoilers for the mainline or the franchise Danganronpa games, by the way, just warning you. You can get into weird situations like Makoto Naegi, where he was a Blackened, but also a survivor because he survived an execution. Or Sakura, where she was a Blackened and a victim because she killed herself. So sometimes they can get 2 identities, they can double up. And never mind, actually, there is a third possible category a character can be in, and that is the mastermind. However, the mastermind can be a Blackened, and so you can just kind of stick the mastermind in the Blackened category, which is what you do with V3. And just kind of take care of it that way. This Danganronpa fan game, though, predates V3. So it's unlikely it would, it might pull tropes from 1 and 2, or might try to be unique, I don't know. But not from 3, just for reference. But I still like to bring up V3, because I just like to bring up V3. So with each of these, it's fun to guess, just kind of off the start, whether or not they would be a Blackened, or a victim, or a survivor, and I guess you could also throw in Mastermind. Now, I do of course remember that this game has only had 2 chapters written. So there's only going to be, we're not going to actually, there's only going to be 2 Blackens and 2 victims. There might be, oh, I know of another category. Mikuro Ikusaba, because she just got killed by not breaking the rules, so to speak. But there's a very special case there. I guess the Mukuro special case. There's only going to be 2 Blackens. My mic is saturating a lot for some reason. I wonder what my mic gain is turned to. Let me check that. It's kind of dangerous to turn down the mic gain mid-video because it might make the editing harder. Oh yeah, my mic gain is like cranked up to Bajuk. Okay. I turned down the mic gain. I don't know, that might make my voice suddenly go softer mid-video. But that allows me to shout a little bit louder without having to worry about saturating. Okay. I don't know what caused it to randomly shoot up like that in the settings. So, there's only going to be 2 victims, 2 Blackens, and potentially 1 Mukuro. So, Kanjiro, because he's kind of the more muscular guy, and the guy who talks about aliens, comes across as either a... Oh, I forgot what the ultimate clairvoyant's name is. It's really long. But, like, that kind of character. The ultimate mechanic, ultimate clairvoyant kind of character who just kind of hangs around and doesn't contribute much besides being a red herring occasionally. Or one of the muscular characters like Sakura or the ultimate team manager, whatever his name was, sports manager, where they get killed some way or other. And V3 continued this with Gonta, some way or other being a Blackened or victim or both in Chapter 4. So Kanjiro is a good Chapter 4 death or survivor. So he's very likely to survive the 2 chapters of this game that we have. In my me guessing, like, just very blankly, with like very little story actually being told yet. So next we have Mikiko. It's more like Miki. I actually made a mistake here in my typing. It's Mikihiko. Which means I have to edit that pinned comment afterwards, which I'll probably forget to do. So Mikihiko is the given name, and Koyasunaga is the family name. I think it's probably a she, a super high school level puppeteer. Now, her physique, I'm saying her by default, but it's like that of a woman, right? She has breasts. But the main character, which I forget his name already, said that his voice was like that of a man's. There was a subtlety in his voice that was like a man's, which made the main character think that he was a man. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. They might try to do a trick involving her gender in Chapter 2, potentially. And the translation may not have been really that good. However, I did actually look at the Korean text, and it looked like that's what it said. It looked like the sound of her voice made her like a man, or him like a man. But the appearance is like a woman. Because it's easy for her to be like a Chihiro, you would think if this fan game was following the tropes or following the pattern of Danganronpa 1, that Mikihiko, and I don't know if that's a masculine or a feminine given name for Japan. You might be able to tell from the name, like, what kind of, if it's a man or a woman. But I think there are some names in Japan that you can give to either, which might make it confusing. Just like there are some names in English you can give to either. But there are some people around me that would argue that you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't name someone something like Tatum, which it's kind of goes both ways nowadays. Is a good candidate for a Chapter 2 death or for a Chapter 2 victim. So she or he, whichever, may be a maybe a death, is a good candidate for the victim of Chapter 2. Next we have Ryo Komori, the super high school level interpreter. And this guy just didn't want to talk to you. He just didn't want to, just big times you, basically. So I don't know if this means that he's like a polyglot, like Richard Francis Burton, or it means something else. But I presume he's just he's a language master, which is pretty appropriate for this game. And he just doesn't want to talk to you. Usually, this kind of character is a survivor. The characters that really didn't want to talk to you were Kyoko Kirigiri in the first game, and the ultimate affluent, or the super high school level affluent prodigy, whatever his name was. Rather aloof. The aloof characters tend to be rather long lasting. So I would put down Kumori as a likely survivor, or his name is Ryo. It's likely a survivor, but he could be a Chapter 3 death. They could throw him in a triple death or something. It wouldn't be too surprising. Next we have Seina, is the given name, and Tatanasi is the family name. Now, here's where I start getting to this whole Hangul thing. So, notice how it just said Tatanasi. That should strike you as odd, because the Japanese, they don't really say si, like the Spanish word for yes. They don't really make that sound. There isn't a hiragana for that syllable, for the syllable si. They tend to always put a sh sound before the e vowel. So there are kana for she. It's, sa, so, su, se, and shi. And so you tend to find that Japanese words don't have si in them, and including Japanese names, they tend to have shi. Now you might go, okay, well, what if I wanted to write shi in Hangul? Well, in Hangul, you make the sh sound by using a consonant it means put your tongue high in your mouth like you're going to make the S sound. But not necessarily make the S sound, because you don't aspirate your consonants by default in Korean. So if you put your tongue kind of high at the end of a word and don't aspirate, it kind of makes a T sound. But for brevity, I'm just going to call it the S consonant. Followed by sort of like a Y sound. So S followed by yo makes show. But there's no way to encode in Hangul Y followed by an E sound or Roman I sound. There's no yi. There's ya, there's ya, there's yo, there's you, there's yay. But there's no yi. There's just a regular e. So there's no way to write in Hangul she. Ironically enough. You can write sho, shu, sha, she, but you can't write she. So all the she's get turned into c's. So I presume that this Tatanasi, the Japanese family name they were trying to write, was probably Tatanashi. Anyway. Technicalities. So she's the super high school level violinist. And she's the person who introduces herself like, I'll take good care of you. Then we have given name Yukari, family name Kiyoime, and she's the character we're introduced to first. She's the ultimate dating counselor, or dating coach, or romance counselor, or romance coach, or courting coach, or whatever you want to call it. And we've seen a lot of her so far. I didn't actually... We're going to go back to predictions about Seina. But Yukari first might come across to you as kind of like, you think, okay, the idea is going to be she coaches other people how to date, but then in the end, she's going to pick the protagonist to date, right? It's like that trope. I might actually name it the Martin Luther trope, where Martin Luther couldn't figure out how to marry off a certain woman, and she ends up saying, you know why you couldn't get me? I won't approve of any of the men you put me in front of, because I want you, Martin Luther. She might get Martin Luther troped, which may suggest that she survives for a long time because it has to build that arc, that romance arc. It has to go through the process because you can't have the ultimate dating coach get in a relationship with you immediately. She first has to try to coach you into getting how to get a relationship with other people. So there's a process. So, and on the other hand, she kind of seems like a potential Sayaka-like character, where she gets killed immediately. So it's weird give or take. I don't really know which way to do it. If I'm going to wild guess, I'm going to guess that she survives. But that's a really sketchy guess, because she could very easily get Sayaka'd, killed in Chapter 1, or killed in Chapter 5. Because characters in the protagonist inner circle, the closest characters to the protagonist, get killed in either Chapter 1 or Chapter 5. So I'm going to guess Survivor, but there's still a high probability that she would die in Chapter 1, which we have made here. We have a Chapter 1 for this. Or a Chapter 5. Okay, so going back to Seina, the ultimate violinist. Okay, so we got Yukari. She comes across as kind of a Sonya-like character, which suggests that she's a survivor.
Danganronpa.
But she could also be a Chapter 2 blackened relatively easily. So, she kind of has a little bit of a Chapter 2 blackened flavor. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's a Chapter 2 blackened as well. Okay, now we have Mai Yurino. Who's the ultimate researcher, and she's kind of a fun character with a lot of energy. Comes across as a Chapter 4 blackened. Like, my guess would be she kills Kanjiro. So that's what I would guess, and she's a blackened. She wouldn't die in Chapter 1 or 2, though. She would die probably later. She could also be a good Chapter 2 victim, but I already put down Miki Hiko as a Chapter 2 victim, but I guess she would be like my second choice for a Chapter 2 victim.
Danganronpa.
So, that, to review, her given name is Mai, and her family name is Yurino. They have Toshiro Takahara. Again, it's probably intended to transliterate into Hangul Toshiro Takahara. Super high school level parkour. And he comes across as like the ultimate Yakuza character. Super high school level Yakuza. I forget his name. I'm forgetting all the Danganronpa names right now for some reason. I want to say Okuhiko for some reason, but Fuyohiko, there we go. Okuhiko is a Never 7 character. Fuyohiko kind of character, which makes him a survivor. Now that makes me already have 4 best guesses as survivors so far. And there can only be 5 of those, so we're running out of people to put as survivor really fast here.
Danganronpa.
So, but his first choice for me would seem like a survivor to me. And then second choice would also be Chapter 2 blackened. So I have 2 first choice survivors, second choice Chapter 2 blackens, both in Seina and Toshiro, which are 2 very different characters in personality, which is kind of odd. Also, I just say super high school level parkour. I don't know what word you would use for a person who does parkour. I know in Korean they would probably just use the word songsu, right? Because a person who participates in something is a songsu. But in English, it's not really that clear because you have a baseball player, a basketball player, but then you have, like, in someone who does taekwondo, in Korean, they just call him a taekwondo songsu. But what do you say in English? Taekwondo artist? Taekwondo practicer? Taekwondo... If they're a sensei or a master, we could say taekwondo sensei, taekwondo master, taekwondo student. I guess something like that, I guess. What's a parkour artist? Just a parkour artist? I mean, it is a type of art, right? It's a gymnastic art. So I would tend to say parkour artist, maybe. Anyway. So if you had to have a person name in there, I guess you would say super high school level parkour artist. And that's an English borrowed word. So the Hangul they used to spell out parkour was just kind of spelled out the pronunciation parkour. Now we have given name Misako, family name Rokuhana, the ultimate curator. So Misako, this name is really easy to remember for certain reasons I won't disclose right now, which you could probably you might be able to guess. Especially given that her ultimate, or her super high school level, I hate ultimate, I need to get away from that, but watching too much English commercially translated Danganronpa has got ultimate stuck in my head. So when I say ultimate, I mean super high school level. It's just a bad translation though, because in Japanese it's super high school level. Why did they change it in English? Ultimate, because her super high school level is curator, that makes it even easier to remember. Her name is Misako. She seems like, because she's like the leader right off the bat, kind of like the fake super high school level affluent prodigy from Danganronpa 2, she seems like first choice to be a chapter 1 victim. The character that takes charge right away you would think tends to be a very early victim. So she seems like a chapter 1 victim, which puts her in competition potentially with Yukari for being the chapter 1 victim. We suggest that Yukari is not the chapter 1 victim. Okay, next we have given name Chinami, family name Hasami, the super high school level hair designer. And that seems kind of weird. You say like, wait, you mean cosmetologist? But the Hangul spelled out the pronunciation of hair designer like there are English borrowed words. And she's another person who really kind of doesn't want to talk to you and is kind of reserved and standoffish. So, she would make kind of a, is it a he or a she? I actually don't remember. It's kind of an ambiguous gender person. I think it's a she though. Would make a good chapter 3 victim, which is kind of an easy slot to throw someone in if you don't know what else to do with them. Also could make a blackened of some sorts, maybe a chapter 1 or chapter 2 blackened. The best chapter 1 blackened to me actually seems to be the parkour guy, which he is Toshiro. I put him down as a chapter 2 blackened, but he could be a chapter 1 blackened as well. My first choice for Toshiro was still like a Fuyuhiko kind of character, where he just kind of survives through. It has a lot of moving and shaking as he goes through. Anyway, so that was Asami. Oh no, Chinami. That was Chinami. That should make maybe a chapter 3 victim. The hairdresser who doesn't want to talk to you. Then we have Akeru. Given name Akeru, family name Yojora, who's the super high school level Aero Sekji Ninja, which according to Google Translate, is erotic ninja. Is a she. That makes her seem kind of like a Chapter 3 blackened. Or at least a Chapter 3 red herring. It also seems to make her seem like a good survivor. Because I already have 4 people with the first choice of being survivor, but the second option for Akeru, besides being a Chapter 3 blackened, would be a survivor. And of course, if the question is, you would ask, what does an erotic ninja mean? A ninja, as far as I understand, is a poor or low-class criminal. And they tend to be women. Almost like a Robin Hood kind of person, where they kind of sneak around and steal from the rich. And they are the enemy of the samurai, whose job is to protect the rich. But then if you make that erotic, like some sort of sexual sneaking around and stealing, to me that just comes across as super high school level sexual predator. Not very flattering. Anyway, that may not be necessarily what they're going for, but that's kind of what that means. Next, we have Tato, the given name being Tato, and the last name being Simasami. So Tato Simasami. And he is the super high school level farmer, and there isn't that much interesting about him. I'd also put him as a Chapter 3 victim. Makes a good victim. Or the second choice would be survivor. He's very unlikely to be a blackened. Then we have Kana. Kana Issei. A name from Your Turn to Die. So Kana Issei is a super high school level voice actor, which now makes sense in hindsight. Just going, and she seems like another Chapter 3 victim, which gives me 3 Chapter 3 victims, which I don't know what to do with that. But she seems like someone who would be a victim. So, victim in general. Should go down in a similar way to how the super high school level musician would Miyuki. No, is it not Miyuki? I mean, Miyuki is that character name from Yumi and Her. I forget her name. I forget all these names. After a while, I just try to forget the names of all the Danganronpa characters. But anyway, the super high school level musician from Danganronpa 2 is how you think she would go down. Just kind of, it reminds me because of Kana Issei using the Ibnida formality. Going back to Akeru, remember the ultimate erotic, super high school level erotic ninja? She referred to the main character with Dongsin, which, I don't know if this is exactly correct, but Dongsin is like a word, it's a word that means you, roughly, in Korean, but it's ultra super formal. And so, it's also not used in the context in which it would be used is obsolete. So when you use it, it usually almost always comes across as sarcastic, which makes it into somewhat of an insult. So, interesting note. So I don't know if she was using Dongsin trying to sound kind of historical, like it's a ninja thing, or whether or not she was showing some sort of disdain. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell the tones and sort of idioms and expressions and things and languages you don't understand very well. Apparently it's kind of hard to express the idea of you in Korean, but if you have to, like you need a word for it, just na, I guess, is the best you can do. Nanen or nay.
Danganronpa.
And if absolutely nothing else works, you can risk using Dong Scene and hope you don't get punched. So, after Kana, the ultimate or super high school level voice actor, we have Torei, given name Torei, family name Akachibaki. And he's a super high school level architect. I don't remember much about him from the conversation. Because I don't remember much about him, I don't know what to categorize him in, most likely. Yeah. Huh. Question mark. I don't know what to get this guy because I don't remember anything about him. I don't know what to do with him. Okay, then we have given name Yonaku, family name Huchida. And he is the super high school level composer. He seems like a chapter 1 victim. But I already have Misako down as a chapter 1 victim. So now we have 2 people being chapter 1 victims. So the second choice I'd have for Yonaku is a chapter 3 victim. But I only have 3 people that I think would make good chapter 3 victims. So I don't really know what to do with them. Then we have Shoujo, given name Shoujo, family name Asayoru, who is the super high school level cuber. And he doesn't really want to talk to you either. He's really reserved. Again, he comes across to me as a victim as well. I haven't put anything down as a chapter 5 victim or blackened yet, with the exception of Yukari. So none of them, these guys seem to make good chapter 5 blackens. So you don't know who stirs the pot yet, right? Chapter 4. So Shoujo seems like a victim, but I don't know which case you place him in. Chapter 3 it tends to be where I put the is my victim dumpster. So if I'm a victim, I don't know where to put them. I tend to put them in chapter 3. But someone's got to be a chapter 4 victim, except I think that Kanjiro makes a good chapter 4 victim. Misako makes a chapter 1 victim. Yeah. So basically, when I go through all of these, I have a lot of people that tend to be survivors, like Ryo, Yukari, Seina, Toshiro. Those seem to be like their survivors. That's 4 survivors. There tends to be 5. So maybe a short 1 survivor. I have quite a bit of few people that I would think would be victims, right? Mikihiko seems like a victim to me. Misako, Shinami, Akeru, Tatu, Kana, Shoujo. They tend to be Yonaku. They all tend to be like victims. There's way too many victims, but not very many people that look to me like they'd be blackens. Mai and Akeru are the only 2 I really have listed as potential blackens so much. Which is problematic. It makes my predictions imbalanced. So there's more blackens than I would think there would be. But if I had to pick, it looks like my chapter 1 blackened. I don't really have anybody for a good chapter 1 blackened. The one I have listed as one of the potential choices is Toshiro. So the one I have that's like the best for being a chapter 1 blackened is Toshiro. But that's it. I don't really have very good chapter 1 blackens. Maybe Onaku, maybe. So, and for chapter 1 victim, the best choice I have is Misako. And then for chapter 2 victims, the best choice I have is Mikihiko, the puppeteer. And for chapter 2 blackened, the best choice I have is Seina. Toshiro also kind of fits, but I had Toshiro put down for my Chapter 1 Blackened. So I guess I have... It's a really, really, really super preliminary guess in the dark. Toshiro, which you probably don't remember these names still, so I have to put in what their super high school levels are. Toshiro, the super high school level... Parkour, most likely Blackened. Misako, super high school level Curator, most likely Victim. And then for Chapter 2, Seiyuna, the super high school level Violinist, most likely Blackened. Mikihiko, the super high school level Puppeteer, most likely Victim. That's my super, no chance of being remotely correct preliminary guess on the Blackens and Victims. With all that done, and 45 minutes in, let's finally get to more of the game. Yeah, that was pretty verbose. Get my textractor window. So hit this, which I presume is continue. Yeah, there's my save slots. So save data number 3, I presume is what I load. And then I don't have any text to extract yet. So I guess we can talk to them on the hallway on our way to finding the gym. Now if I hit escape, so there's a lot of things here, but I presume that the first one is a student handbook, right? What? Oh, is that quest? Oh, I have to attach the game here. Okay. Now, let's see what kind of hooks I can get here. Talking to a character might help. Here is, I'm trying to remember these names. This one is Mai, right? This is the super high school level researcher. Okay, can I hook this? Okay. So Kajuki-si, which is like a respectful name of referring to Kajuki. We are a total of 16 Myong Iniga Huang S Irukuyo. Okay, that's driving Google Translate absolutely nutcase. Oh, this is the one where it duplicates everything. That's why. Wrong one. We are 16 in total. So it's Huang. Okay. I think so. Still, she is still hard to understand. I should go to the science lab later to study. Well, will he find a science lab in the school? I presume he thinks he will because he still thinks this is a school, right? So, trying to decipher this Korean here. Gongbo, I believe, is study. And then Kwahwak is science. So you want some of these roots. Iheagi is a form of the verb to understand. You recognize some words here and there. So now when I bring up this menu, here we go. So, student handbook. What does it tell me? You don't have the electronic student handbook yet. Okay. Looking forward to getting that student handbook, which you'll probably get at the end of the prologue. I'm hoping it would have a map in it. So, Belongings. You don't have any belongings. Nope. Skills. Don't have any of that. Then we have saving and loading. Okay. Let's interact with as many things as... Can I do the Q thing? I have like birds hitting my windows or something going on here. Ugasirida. So let's say I guess it's the nurse's office. But, well, it says, just read the Google Translate, it says this is the health room. But right now I have to go to the gym first. So, trying to break this down. This Chigum is, I believe, now. So, Huajiman Jigumim, I presume, is right now. The J Yukwan, I presume, is Jim. Ganinge is a form of to go. And this is used as a form of have to. There's a couple ways to make kind of a have to in Korean. That's one of them. I persist guessing. What are these? The window is blocked by an iron plate. I don't understand. Yeah, so ihega understand again here. Duiji onninda. That ninda is probably what the form of these verbs are going to use in the thought bubbles. Okay. This window is blocked with an iron plate. I don't understand. Is this the red door? It looks like the stairs to the second floor. I can't go because the shutter is down. Okay. So, this little word here, su, is used for can, and sometimes it's used for cannot as well. There's another another word for cannot, but this su abda is I cannot. Gar is go, so gar su abda is cannot go. Cool. So, second floor going stairs. So I presume how you would read that is the order of the words. So, let's talk to this person. Is this the architect? Oh, this is the architect guy. Yeah, okay. Still, I didn't remember him very well. As expected, no one can match the discernment of Akatsubaki Torei's architecture. He is proud of himself. I'll just leave it at that. He's proud of himself. Probably not the best translation though, because you really need to get rid of that name off the front. Let me, we're going to work on that. Let me take my time and not have to regret it and be messing with subtitles so much later. See if I can get a slightly better translation by means of chopping that name off the front. Yeah, it just means he's proud of himself. Okay, just making sure. Ai, wa. So it's like, what? Do you intend to refute my words too? Animnida, which is basically, no. Let's go to the gym soon. So again, Chain Wakwan is gym. Again, we see that. So I just didn't remember that word is gym. So is this the gym? Maybe. I don't want to go in there just because I might that risks advancing the plot before getting all of the flavor text. Right now, the gym is my priority, as opposed to the women's restroom. Now, the gym is my priority. Okay, then. Oh, this is just a partition. Audio-visual, right? It's locked. Can I interact with the sign next to it? Oh, that's the store. Oh, because that's why it has a Japanese yen symbol. Gym's my priority right now, so I guess that's the classroom. This is the classrooms I woke up in. Okay. Despair Hotel. So this is the dorms. My priority is the gym, though. Okay, fine. I can't go... It's a huge red door. I can't go into it because it's locked. And this is the... it's the audio-visual room. What's this? Oh, that's the entrance zone. Okay, we already talked to these characters, did we? Ai, Yotanabe. Okay. What was that broadcast? I don't know either. It was a very unpleasant voice. For some reason, I feel like I shouldn't go there. Still, I can't help it right now. I have to go. So this is a hard time translating that. Chechong. What does Chechong mean? Oh. Okay. The best translation Google Translate can come up with for Chechong is shit. Well, now I know. I didn't have to say that, but I chose to. So I've actually already talked to these people. I'll do it again just to review, just in case. So talking to me, Kachuki, I don't have a good feeling for some reason. Curator. Now I think the priority is to go to the gym quickly. Archer. Watanabe Kong. I think I can roughly understand the situation. So let me try to get a slightly better translation by removing the name off the front here. Yeah, so Kong is ball, but there's some sort of slang going on. There's some sort of Korean slang going on with Kong that I don't understand. So Kong is this word right here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. But there's some sort of slang I don't understand with the word ball here. I think I can roughly understand this situation. What? Did you remember something? And then this first... That's the fact that we were abducted and imprisoned by aliens. Aliens? Are you sure? This didn't translate well. Let me get a better translation. I hope. That's what I want. Is to be abducted by aliens. I hope we were abducted by aliens, because that's what I wanted. Okay. Erotic ninja. Aren't you going to the gym? Okay, so again, to the gym. We got the gym here. So, we were talking to her, saying, aren't you going to the gym, I guess. Like, ut. If you see me, no, it's nothing, it's okay. I don't care, let's go. You can teleport. Okay, that I don't care Need to chop the name off of it. So let me do that. That I don't care could be messed up. Okay, same. And then I, the main character, Kajuki, respond with, "Can a ninja do that?" Okay, puppeteer. There's gender ambiguous. Pet-chan, don't be afraid. Everyone here seems to be good children. They use aider. So this right here is children, but the Koreans, I guess, use it for teenagers too. You don't really use the word child to describe a teenager in English, but you do use the word kid to describe them. I guess that makes sense. Kids. They all seem to be good kids. So this is Mikihiko talking to the pet. This is me, the main character. Kawasunaga, which for some reason just kind of romanized, didn't actually come up with a meaning for it out of Google Translate. Suna. Okay. She responds, "Are you Watanabe?" Which I don't know what a Watanabe is. I guess I theoretically could look up all these terms later. I also want to chop the name off the front of this too, just in case. No, it doesn't give me anything more. So just, "Are you a Watanabe?" So in these weird, these quote brackets, I guess this indicates his pet. Mikihiko, leave Watanabe alone and let's go to the gym. So wait, is Watanabe just the main character's name? Yes, it is. I feel stupid. I remember the main character's name. Majuki Watanabe. Okay, just like Pet-chan, leave me alone and go to the gym. Oh, like Pet-chan said, leave me alone and go to the gym. I will. I feel like I was hit by a doll. And the parkour guy. How dare you make fun of me as a rat? Oh, she's still mad at whoever did that, which I forgot who it was. Takahara? Which is, we're just referring to him. I can't forgive. I cannot forgive. So, this is what I was talking about, if a different way to say can't. Moots, this M-O-S here, most, that's cannot. Seems right to talk to him. Okay. I probably did that last recording, but I did it again. Redundancy. So this might be the gym. This is the gym. Let's advance the plot. Here? Yes, it just means here. When we arrived in front of the gymnasium, we just stood there, as if we had promised each other, but no one opened the door. So, okay, so this is kind of like the lobby to the gym that you have in Danganronpa 1, where you have a door, and then you have like, then you can go where there's like a trophy, and then behind that door is like a room with a trophy case in it, where they had that sword, and then the gym is another door past that. Okay. Keeps throwing my name in there. An incomprehensible phenomenon. A strange space presumed to be the Cape of Good Hope School, or Hope Speak Academy. and even the announcement in a bizarre voice heard a while ago. So the first part of it did not get translated too well. Let me see here. I deserve it. That's interesting. Everyone must have sensed something vaguely strange. So this here, this Motu is like all of. So this kind of makes sense. Hey, are you really okay? Even if you ask me that, there's no choice but to collide, right? Better than hesitating. Weird translation, but okay. Maya's thinking. No matter what, the broadcast from earlier is bothering me. Do you think it's better to stay here? It looks like the others are already inside. Maya's thinking. Even so, Karam, Nan, okay. Then I go in first. Chadu, Ima. I'm gonna try to get a better translation of that, because that is oh, it's just me too. Okay, so this is not an erotic ninja thing that Textractor said I'm done too. It's, she just says me also. I can't just stop here. See you all in the gym. I wish there are aliens beyond me, and I'm going to leave the little man alone. Huh? After all, those who go are leaving? That's probably not quite right. In the end, those who go are going. There you go. Let's go into. Seriously? It says sincerely in the Google Translate, but seriously probably would be a better translation. I mean, I have a bad feeling about it. Then you stay here. What? Taught alone? I don't like that. Then it's decided. It's like no funny business here. Misako said that while opening the gym door or something like that. Let me try to get that more clear. Saying that Misako opened the gym door. That's better. So we're all here. Okay, it didn't translate right. Let me try to fix it. Translate to... Oops. Wherever you look at this... Okay, somewhere. I think this is the entrance ceremony. There's no this in that sentence, but... Or I think that is the entrance ceremony. And she's talking in kind of this third person, right? So she's saying, my thinks that this is the entrance ceremony. There are, okay, chairs for a number of people are placed in front of the platform. So, Ouija is chair. Was this Hope Speak Academy? Past tense. And it looks like past tense, like there's that double S there. So the moment I was relieved at the sight that was more ordinary than I imagined. Or that moment. That and the can be exchanged, kind of. Then that might be a better translation, suddenly appeared in front of us. Oh, this is kind of, sort of voice acted. Hello, everyone. Is everyone gathered? Shall we start soon? Oh, we gotta do this. Pan forward. Yep. Oh yeah. Okay, so Mikiko is like, is this a doll? Yeah, you're puppeteering. You'd be jealous of this stuff. It's not a doll. Or, yeah, it's not a doll. So the Monokuma in here, that was just copied out of the name. So it's just basically supposed to be, it's not a doll. I am Monokuma. I am this school's headmaster. This is nonsense, said by the main character, Kajuki. Casually, as if it were natural, Monokuma speaks in front of us and moves arbitrarily. At some point, the ominous feeling I harbored about a phenomenon incomprehensible to common sense was turning into certainty. You don't even know the name of the principal of the school you attend? Where do you go? Where can you go? Okay, that's awkward. Let me try to get a better version. You can't even raise your head anywhere. Okay, something. So it's definitely a can't. Basically, it's like, why don't you know this? Is the small person dreaming? I think that stuffed toy just said something. That there's no way that's the case. It's obviously a toy with a speaker inside. That thing. No. That's why I'm not a doll. I'm Monokuma. And you guys, and I am the school's headmaster. A bear? It sounds like some unknown alien language. Huh? I'm pretty sure I was speaking Korean. And so I don't even see the word for language here, but whatever. Alien? So, are you an alien? A lot more is said than just that. Alien language? So are you an alien? Okay. Aye. You really like that guy? Or, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Don't get excited. It's obvious that it's just a toy. Alien, Nabal, it's obvious it's just a toy. For the first meeting, we're treated as an alien and as a toy. Try to get a... I expected a little bit, but I heard that listening to it directly seems to cause much more psychological damage. Ugh, shock. No, these guys aren't really terminally ill patients. What? Trust people. No, bears. Bears! Okay. Let me try to do this a little better here. Trust people, not bears. What? Again? A mother that overlaps with a bear character somehow? I don't see the word for mother in here anywhere, so why is it translating it to mother? A mother that overlaps with the bear somewhere again. I guess she's referring to something she acted in. Oh. Maybe here's the mother. What do I want from you? There's no time for jokes like this, so let's move on quickly. This is a guy whose tension goes up and down a lot. So does tension mean like when Japanese people say tension? Which means energy, basically? Stop chatting! You, stop chatting there. So. Nahui... Yeah. Nahuida annyeonghaseyo. I understand that one. That is indeed hello, everybody. Annyeonghaseyo. Isa on Heidukdue. You don't have to say hello. Well, from now on, we are going to hold a commemorative entrance ceremony. So let's skip the boring stuff like the headmaster's speech and the school song and get to the point. Students with special talents like you are the treasures of this world that can be said to be hopeful. I'll just leave it at that. This is always stupid. Hope comes from talent, apparently. In order to protect that hope, from now on, you guys will have to live together at this school. Let everyone live in harmony. harmony. Or communal life. I guess that's how they'd like to do it in the English translation. I will answer in advance the question of how long. There is nothing like that. It is just an indefinite communal life. If you live here for the rest of your life, that's okay. That is the school life given to you. That is the life that is given to you at this school. Hey, what did you just say? Lifetime? Here? If you're worried about the necessities of food, don't worry. The budget is gross. It's namchi-niga, which I guess is sufficient. The budget is ripe, maybe. There's no problem feeding 16 of you guys. Never worried about that. To live here all of my life. Is that not it? Is it not? Is not? Is this a joke? It's not lies. 100% pure sincerity. Truth. I tell you in advance, but this is a space completely cut off from the outside world. So if you think about anything else, it's rather a loss, I know that. Hey. Look. It's blocking. The iron plate in the hallway, or the huge iron door I saw earlier in the hall. Yes! It's one of those things to cut off this place from the outside. Of course, no one will come to save you. So, you can just ignore the outside world and live here as you please. Unbelievable. Don't make scary jokes. What will happen to my crops if I have to live here? After all, when you hear this, the reaction is the same every time. Negative, hot-headed, distrustful, etc. But is it all pointless? Because this is the truth without any lies mixed in. Why do you do such useless things? Please stop and send me home. Right, hurry up and send us home, you ugly doll. You guys are so strange. You guys are the ones who came here to like it, right? But why do you want to go back already? Jug. If that's the case, it's not like there's no way to go back. Really? There is a special rule in case there are unusual kids who want to leave the good environment. It's graduation. Graduation? So first, let's start with a brief explanation of graduation. You have to keep order here and live a communal life according to the rules. But if someone breaks the rules, only that person can leave. That's graduation. Then what does breaking the rules mean? Boo, 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 boo. You know, the most basic rule among the rules that humans have established to form a society since the beginning of time. All over the world. If you break it, you can get out. breaking the no genocide rule. To put it simply, the person who murdered can get out. Murder? Of course. Choose the method that you like. Beating, stabbing, cutting, strangling, crushing, burning, poisoning, or curse it to death. How about that? Doesn't it seem like there's more to choose from and exhilarating than a 31 flavored ice cream shop somewhere? What nonsense are you talking about? It's not nonsense. After all, only those who killed someone can get out of here, because that's the rule. Do you think someone is doing this because he doesn't know what that means? Why do we have to kill each other? Chungmar, which is like very. Okay. VKC you are very noisy. If you don't like it, you could just live. Can't you just live here? It's annoying to explain if you don't understand. I'll tell you once, so from now on, this is your home and your world. If you want to get out, just kill someone. So the question's related to your end here. The end. This is so idiotic that I can't listen. It looks funny too. Huh? Okay, so she is going to do a mondo. Forgot what her super high school level is already. Gee whiz, I have to go to my text file. Which one is that? It's the hair. Oh, it's the hair designer. Okay, so the hair designer is going to pull a mondo. So the hair designer walked out among the absent-minded children, stood in front of Monokuma, and looked down disapprovingly and said, "Can you stop now? This isn't fun at all." Or is this? What about enough? I'm telling you to stop playing these trivial pranks. This funny stuffed toy. Don't you understand? Are you kidding me? A funny stuffed toy? I am Monokuma. I am famous among bears as the best flower bear. Huh? Take a good look at this soft, curved body. Black and white color with clear color contrast. Wherever you look, I'm full of charm, right? Enough. It's not funny. You also look boring. Ah. I'll have to get a better capture of this. It's like, yes! Followed by, I don't like that, I think. Hong is nothing. Okay, so hung is not yes. It's translating more to joy. A student kicking the principal. The collapse of authority must be, the church authority must be talking about this. What? Church authority? Okay. Whatever, Google Translate. But I, Monokuma, am a bear who loves order and respects the rules. Please help me, Rule Gardener. Well, Mondo doesn't die here, so I presume that the hair designer is not going to die either. Surname? Chinami. Well, I actually go. The name gets plugged in here, right? Yeah. Okay, Chinami. That moment, Monokuma shouted. All at once, the surveillance cameras turned their lenses towards Hasami. Or Hasami-san. That's the last name. The bottom of the camera opened with a mechanical noise, and what appeared was a machine gun that emitted a vicious black light. Or in a vicious black color. What is that? Also. There's kind of this also feel to it with that toe. Powder saw, which I guess means launch. Oh, it's going for it. The muzzle fired at Hasami all at once. Steel teeth, called fired bullets, attacked Hasami, who was standing defenseless in a situation far beyond expectations, leaving only a sound to turn into a beehive. And danger! Wait, did she get Swiss cheesed or not? I mean, oh, the farmer pulled her out of the way. Okay. So is Tato the farmer? Yeah, okay, so Tato just pulled her out of the way and the bullets just kind of hit the carpet. Okay. There was no time to stop, and Shimagami, who ran out, grabbed Hasami, who was standing there blankly, and rolled over at the same time. Okay. The floor of the gym where she had been standing was literally punctured like a honeycomb. Ka! Okay. Is real? This must be a dream. Are you going to be okay? Or are you all? Okay, so it's you all. Are you all okay? Somehow. Are you okay? I'm okay. Okay. I'm glad. You. Paw. Arm blood. From the arm, yeah. Par's arm. Arm Asa from the arm Piga, which is blood. Pink blood already. So Tato. Did you miss a room? So one room. So I get why it translates it to that, but that's probably not the best translation. Did you pass a pong? Whatever that means in this context. Someone bring me some bandages. Anyone is good. Or anything is good. If it's a bandage, it should be available at the health room. Hey, Rattlesnake, follow me. Don't call me a rat. Blood. It's not like paint. It's real red blood. No, it's not red. It's like paint. It's pink. My legs are trembling at the shocking situation in front of my eyes, which I had never seen before. Well, I haven't seen anybody else. I haven't seen anybody get shot myself personally either. Tato is in trouble. He can't take care of the crops like this. Really? Can't take care of the crops? Are you an idiot? Idiot? Does that matter now? I almost lost my life, you tin can. It's okay, because I'm not dead. Oh. Okay, so Hassani is like, are you an idiot? Doesn't matter, you almost lost your life, you tin can. It's okay because I'm not dead. Gotta pay attention to the speech bubbles when there's no sprites and it's just a CG. Okay. But I'm glad you didn't get hurt. It's worth blowing my body. Laughing at the situation? Really? So that's said by Chinami. Okay. What I just said is a kind of corporal punishment. If there is someone who ignores the school rules, the rule gardener installed in the school and others will punish you mercilessly, so keep that in mind. Rule gardener? It's just a murder weapon. Our rules of Uri, huh? For Gardner-kun, killing tools is too much. What? A murder tool for our rule is too much. Oh, I got the Spock eyebrows. Don't be ridiculous. What are you doing? A kid just almost died. Then if you don't break the school rules, you're good to go. Or should I graduate here? Okay, we're getting the ninja stuff. Please, leave it to me. Wouldn't it be better to follow Monokuma's words first? It seems that you finally have the heart to abide by the school rules. Or should I make it more distinct? It seems that you finally have the heart to abide by the school rules. Well, even if I don't have to, it doesn't matter because I have Rule Gardener. Then let's finish the entrance ceremony like this. Since the famous super high school level students have been accepted into Hope's Peak Academy, should we give them an entrance gift as a congratulation? Finally, we get the handbook. Monokuma let out an unpleasant laugh and held out something to us who were sweating coldly. This cool item is the Hope Speak Academy Student Electronic Notebook or Handbook. Waterproof, impact mitigation, etc. Durability is solid, and the attached functions are cool. Truly a must-have item. I'll give it to everyone, so don't lose it. You don't have to write your name separately. Just turn it on. The name will appear automatically who it is. And I ask you one thing. Huh? What? What is the purpose of doing such a thing that has no benefit whatsoever? Purpose? Purpose? Benefit, no purpose, what anyway. So, benefit or purpose, however you want to translate it. It's a secret. Let you guys find out for yourself. Then this concludes all the steps of the entrance ceremony. Everyone have a good life together, or a good communal life. A person almost died. But, do you know what the purpose is? I don't. Actually, I do, because I played Danganronpa, but as the main character, I don't. Actually, I haven't played Danganronpa. I've seen it be played. Anyway, before that, why do we have to be in this situation? Before we could even say all our questions, Monokuma disappeared from us. Super high school level students. I couldn't even open my mouth easily. Hopefully that's what it is. No one could easily open their mouth. Okay. What happened right in front of my eyes was that much unrealistic, as if it were, put it mildly, belonged to the category of things that should never happen. I brought the bandage. For now, let's move to the back. This place is dangerous. Yes. I'm barely alive, but I'll be in trouble if the machine gun fires again. Kachuki, what's going on? What is going on? Yukari, I don't understand. Why is it like this? And finally the Cuber speaks up. What are you babbling about? It's no fun. Okay, so he's gonna do an ultimate... I forgot what his name is for some reason. Byakuya! There we go. He's gonna Byakuya, isn't he? So the Cuber's gonna Byakuya. So he's gonna survive. Okay. So Cuber's Byakuyaing. Yukari is kind of Sayakaing. It's not that I don't have eyes. Thinking of not admitting what just happened before your eyes? You guys. That is too harsh. That's right. Yukari now... Okay, so it's kind of like... Shouju is making fun of Yukari. Shoujo. Even if you deny it, reality won't change. If she trembles like that, she might be the first to die. Oh, well, she might be, yes. Definitely a possibility. Sayoru's casual way of talking about other people's affairs made me angry. Oh, so they're gonna get in this fight. Okay. Stop it. Don't you know what the situation is like now? You have no excuse. Of course I know that well. But what about it? What? If you don't want to die, you just have to follow the school rules. I just gonna accept this as a thing now. More than anything, don't you think it's a loss to not enjoy it now that it's such an interesting situation? Well, this guy definitely likes Danganronpa. But it's a much better experience when you're just playing the game and not actually, like, in it in actuality. An interesting situation? Yeah. I haven't said a word yet, but that's all I can say. Or that's all you can say. Like, I'm gonna try to... It's better. It's ya, you. Oh, you haven't said a word yet, so is that all you can say? Anyway, because he hasn't said anything up to here, right? Isn't it? It was thrown from being boring and dull daily life to this non-daily life. And if it's not fun, it's strange. Really? If we start fighting among ourselves, in the end, that guy from earlier will end up doing what he wanted. Shoujo-kun, please refrain from making comments that unnecessarily provoke others. As long as you don't mess with me unnecessarily. As long as you all don't mess with me unnecessarily. I know. John. Oh, it's G. Yes, G. She's walking over. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. We all will be okay. Obviously, if we work together, we can overcome anything. Even this prank. Yeah. Watching Yukari calming down little by little, I vaguely thought, wouldn't it be okay if it was like this? Right now, everyone is just surprised by the unexpected situation, and as Misako said, if everyone joins forces, we can overcome any difficult situation. I wanted to believe that. Misako is right. If we join forces, we will surely be able to get out of this strange place. I'll help as best I can. Kazuki. I'm just looking at the picture. So all 16 are there, right? Yeah, so a little bit of an update here. Yukari is being like Sayaka, right? So Yukari kind of updates more towards Chapter 1 victim. And less likely to be a survivor. So Yonaku, which... Yonaku is the ultimate composer? Yeah, so Yonaku becomes less likely to be a Chapter 1 victim. And now more likely to be a Chapter 3 victim. And then the super high school level Cuber Shoujo Asayoru, is now no longer likely to be a victim. He's likely to be a survivor because he is pulling a Byakuya. So he kind of takes the place in the survivor list of Yukari. And so on my, I said that Misako would likely be the victim in Chapter 1. I'm going to update that to a V2 where Toshiro is still the blackened and Yukari is the victim. And then in Chapter 2, Seina is the blackened, and then Mikihiko, the victim. So Misako as the Chapter 1 victim would be replaced with Yukari. It's possible that Misako may end up being sort of a Kirigiri kind of character, but she seems much more extroverted. Well, reading. Okay, see the word for reading. Yukari together with Misako. I repeated it over and over again. Let me try to see if we can have a better thing besides reading. I don't see ear. As I read through Yukari. Huh. Interesting way to say that. It's going to be okay. I hope we can all get through it. Let's make sure everyone survives and escapes from this place. And of course, a minority does, which makes it makes for somewhat of a failure. At least I believe so. But we all didn't know. The trials we will go through in the future. The fact that it's not so easy. Each of us, each with super high school level talent, entered the school with great expectations. The Academy of Hope has become a Academy of Despair. End of the prologue. So there's 16. So that's like students remaining, right?
Danganronpa.
I should translate that stuff in post. To be continued. I guess I presume it's asking if I save. Yes. I'm going to save in slot number 4. And I have to do some stuff tomorrow, so I will just end here. This one seems like it came out a lot better than part 1 did. It was a little more stuttery, a little more tired sounding, but the logistics of the translating came out a little bit better than part 1.